Have you ever imagined looking into the eyes of a wild predator and feeling that it wasn't your enemy? That somehow, there was something more than just instinct. Nature has a strange way of forging unexpected bonds. Sometimes, in the midst of the unknown, an unlikely connection can change everything. This is the story of Noah, a park ranger who dedicated his life to protecting the African savanna. But he never could have imagined that a single act of courage would put a lion in his path, and that this encounter would change his destiny forever. But can a wild animal truly recognize a favor? And more than that, could it ever return one? What happened after that meeting defied everything Noah believed was possible. And when he finally understood the truth, it was already too late to turn back. Because some connections can never be undone. The morning sun slowly rises over the Serengeti, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. A cool breeze carries the scent of damp earth and acacia trees, while the songs of birds fill the air with a harmonious melody. The vast savanna stretches as far as the eye can see, a sea of tall grass swaying gently in the wind. Small herds of gazelles graze peacefully, while in the distance, a group of elephants makes its way toward a watering hole. Everything seems to be in perfect harmony, but no one knows that nature hides secrets in its silences. An aging jeep moves slowly along a dirt road, kicking up a trail of reddish dust. At the wheel, Noah drives with a watchful gaze. With years of experience patrolling the reserve, he has learned to listen to the land. Every sound, every footprint in the soil, tells a story. His instinct is his compass, and this morning, something tells him that something is off. He eases off the gas and steps out of the jeep. The sun's heat begins to warm the earth, and his boots sink slightly into the dry soil. With trained eyes, he scans the surroundings. Then, something catches his attention, small dark stains against the golden grass. He steps closer and realizes it's blood. Freshly spilled, still glistening under the sunlight. His heart quickens. Following the trail, he observes deep marks in the ground. The signs are clear, a large predator has been here, moving with difficulty. Perhaps it was injured, perhaps it was fleeing from something. A chill runs down Noah's spine. The Serengeti is unpredictable. Each day brings a new challenge, a new mystery. And he is about to uncover another one. The trail of blood leads Noah into a small grove of acacia trees, where shafts of golden sunlight pierce through the twisted branches. The air is thick, heavy with moisture and the scent of crushed vegetation. The wind blows hesitantly, as if even nature itself is holding its breath, waiting for what is about to unfold. Noah moves forward cautiously, his muscles tense, his heartbeat quickening. The eerie silence of the grove unsettles him. No birds sing. No animals stir. And then, he sees it. At the center of the clearing, a majestic lion lies motionless, ensnared by thin steel wires embedded in his flesh. His dark mane is matted with dust and sweat, and his body trembles, exhausted from the fight against the metal restraints. The lion's amber eyes lock onto Noah's. There is no rage. No instinct to attack. Only pain, and a silent plea for help. Noah's instincts scream at him to be cautious. A wounded predator is unpredictable. But something in that gaze makes him hesitate. With careful movements, he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a tool. The lion does not look away. He simply breathes, panting in exhaustion, watching every move the ranger makes. Noah begins cutting through the wires, his breath heavy with the weight of responsibility. Each loop removed is both a relief and a risk. Sweat drips down his face. His fingers move quickly, aware that any mistake could cost him dearly. With every wire freed, the lion shudders, releasing a deep, pained growl, a sound filled with suffering and resignation. But he does not resist. He simply waits. Finally, the last wire falls to the ground. Noah instinctively steps back, his eyes locked onto the lion. The animal hesitates for a moment, testing his own strength. His paws press into the dusty earth, and with slow, deliberate movements, he rises. Unsteady. Weak. But standing. His gaze meets Noah's once more. Time seems to freeze. There is something unspoken in that exchange, something primal, something profound. Then, without haste, the lion turns and disappears into the tall grass. Noah remains frozen in place, his heart still pounding. He should feel relieved. But deep down, he knows, this was no ordinary encounter. Something greater happened here. And this will not be the last time he sees that lion. The days that follow are marked by an unsettling feeling. Noah continues his routine, patrolling the savannah, but something has changed. He feels he is not alone. It's a subtle sensation, like an invisible presence lingering just beyond his sight. On the first morning, as he steps out of his tent, he notices fresh tracks in the packed earth. Large. Deep. Circling the camp before vanishing into the vegetation. Noah's heart pounds. He crouches, examining the prints. They belong to a lion. And not just any lion. He knows exactly whose they are. During his patrols, the feeling of being watched only intensifies. The rustling of tall grass. Shadows shifting in the distance. At times, he catches the brief golden shimmer of eyes in the darkness, only for them to disappear the moment he blinks. The air around him is thick with something indescribable, an unspoken expectation. Then, on the third night, there is no denying it any longer. In the dead of night, a deep, resonant roar shatters the silence of the savannah. A sound so powerful, so commanding, that the very earth seems to tremble beneath it. Noah jolts awake, his pulse racing. Instinctively, his gaze snaps to the nearby hill overlooking the camp. There, silhouetted against the silver glow of the moon, stands him. The dark-maned lion. Still. Watching. His figure is motionless, untouched, like something belonging to another world. The wind stirs between them, carrying dust and ancient secrets. A shiver runs down Noah's spine. He cannot explain it. But he understands. Kanu never left. He stayed. Always near. Always watching. But why? The Serengeti never offers easy answers. Only mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Noah moves slowly through the savannah, following fresh tracks. The sun beats down on the dry earth, and the warm breeze carries a faint scent of dust and crushed vegetation. He has walked this path countless times, but something feels different now. There are unusual marks in the soil, human footprints mingling with those of animals. A clear sign that someone has been here, and not just to admire the landscape. His heart pounds as he spots a metallic object partially buried in the dirt. He crouches down and examines it closely. It's a trap, carefully hidden among the dry bushes. The metal glints under the sun, betraying its presence to watchful eyes. A heavy weight settles in his chest. Poachers are nearby. He straightens, his senses heightened by the eerie silence around him. The Serengeti is restless. No birds sing. No animals stir nearby. It's as if nature itself is aware of the looming danger. Then, a roar rips through the plains. Noah whirls around, and there, standing in the golden dust of the trail, is Kanu. The dark-maned lion remains still, blocking the path ahead. His eyes lock onto Noah's, deep, unwavering, intense. A shiver runs down Noah's spine. There is something in the lion's gaze, something beyond wild instinct. A warning. A silent message. For a moment, Noah hesitates. His job is to follow tracks, to uncover what lies beyond the unknown. But something inside him tells him to heed this warning. He takes a step back. Kanu doesn't move. The wind picks up, swirling dust between them. Noah exhales slowly, then retreats a few more steps before turning on his heels and making his way back the way he came. That night, back at camp, he receives confirmation that sends a chill through his veins. Other rangers have discovered signs of an ambush, right at the spot where he would have arrived had he continued his patrol. Noah looks out into the darkness beyond the camp, toward the vast, endless savanna. Somewhere out there, Kanu still keeps watch. And now, Noah is certain of one thing. That lion isn't just watching. He's protecting. Night falls over the Serengeti, draping the savanna in a cloak of shifting shadows. The wind whispers through the dry trees, carrying an unsettling silence. Seated beside his jeep, Noah examines maps and notes under the faint glow of his lantern. He knows something is happening nearby, suspicious movements, hidden traps, and a lion that always seems to be close. Then, a rustling in the brush shatters the silence. His body reacts before his mind can fully process the sound. He switches off the lantern, his eyes adjusting to the darkness. A second rustle. Footsteps, not from an animal, but something more deliberate, more cautious. Noah slowly rises, careful not to make a sound. His heart pounds, a primal instinct warning him that danger lurks nearby. Then, lights cut through the darkness. Flashlights sweep across the vegetation. Whispered voices, hurried, urgent. Noah turns, but it's too late. He feels the force of someone shoving him against the jeep. His mind races. Who are they? What do they want? But deep down, he already knows the answer. They search his pockets, take his radio. A firm voice orders them to take him away from the camp. He tries to reason with them, but he knows there's no chance. His wrists are bound, and with hurried steps, they lead him down a narrow path between the trees. The wind picks up, stronger now, as if the Serengeti itself senses the danger. Then, the roar. A deep, guttural sound rumbles through the night like thunder. The men freeze, exchanging tense glances. Another roar, closer this time. Noah feels the air shift. Something is coming. From the shadows, Kanu emerges. His eyes burn like embers under the moonlight. He doesn't attack. He simply advances, his presence alone enough to send panic through the group. The men hesitate, step back, whisper frantically among themselves. Kanu takes another step forward, his dark mane rippling in the night wind. Then, chaos. The men scatter, some stumbling in their frantic attempt to escape. Noah seizes the opportunity, tearing free from his restraints and darting behind a tree. He watches as Kanu holds his ground, steady, unwavering. Finally, silence returns. The intruders are gone. Noah takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself. When he turns, Kanu is still there, watching him for a moment before vanishing once more into the shadows of the savanna. In that moment, Noah understands. Kanu is not just a lion. He is a guardian. And his watch over the Serengeti is far from over. The first light of day paints the savanna in shades of gold and rose. The morning breeze drifts gently over the tall grass, carrying the silent echoes of the night before. Noah stands atop a hill, gazing over the vast Serengeti, feeling its serenity settle into every part of his being. But this time, something has changed. The dust stirred by the previous night's events has already settled, but the marks left in his mind will never fade. What he experienced wasn't just an isolated moment, it was an encounter with something greater, something beyond the simple logic of the wild. He resumes his patrols, but now with a new perspective. Every footprint in the soil, every shadow shifting between the trees, carries new meaning. The Serengeti has always been full of mysteries, but Noah knows he has witnessed one of its rarest. He no longer needs to search for Kanu. The lion is there, somewhere, keeping his silent watch. Stories begin to spread among the locals. Some speak of a dark-maned lion that protects those who respect the land. Others believe he is a guardian spirit, a force of nature itself. Some doubt, calling it mere coincidence. But Noah doesn't need explanations. He lived it. He felt the connection. Days pass, and the savannah moves forward as it always has. But on certain mornings, when he looks toward the horizon, Noah sees a familiar silhouette against the glow of the rising sun. Always distant. Always watching. Never too close, yet never truly gone. And he smiles. Because now, he knows. The Serengeti has a guardian. His name is Kanu. The sun rises once more over the golden expanse of the Serengeti, carrying with it the promise of a new day. The dust of the past has settled, but the memory of what happened will remain forever. Noah continues his daily patrols, but now he looks at the savannah in a different way. He knows that somewhere, Kanu is near. Not as a looming shadow, but as a silent presence, a force of nature that seems to understand the delicate balance of this land. The villagers begin to tell stories. Some say the dark-maned lion is the spirit protector of the land. Others believe he is simply an animal that learned to trust a man. But Noah knows the truth. The bond forged in that clearing, on the day of the rescue, transcended any simple explanation. Weeks pass, and the patrols continue. But every now and then, in the distant horizon, a golden figure emerges through the tall grass. Always at a distance. Always watching. And Noah smiles, knowing that the Serengeti has a guardian. His name is Kanu. In the heart of the Serengeti, where the sun sets and paints the horizon in golden hues, a story was written, not in words, but in footprints in the earth, in glances exchanged between species, in an unspoken bond that transcends human understanding. Noah went on with his life, but he never stopped feeling Kanu's presence. That lion was more than just a guardian of the savannah, he was a symbol of something greater. A living testament that nature speaks to those who know how to listen, and that respect between humans and animals can forge deep and mysterious connections. The story of Kanu and Noah became a legend, whispered by the wind as it sweeps through the tall grass, told by elders around flickering campfires, and echoed in the lonely patrols of the reserve's rangers. Some say Kanu still roams the hills, watching over those who protect his land. Others believe he has become part of the Serengeti itself, an invisible force, as eternal as the landscape around him. Either way, his story teaches us that a true connection with nature is not built through dominance, but through understanding. Through respect. Through coexistence. And so, as the sun sets once more over the African savanna, a distant shadow moves through the golden waves of grass. Always watching. Always present. Because some promises are never broken. What did you think of this adventure? Amazing, isn't it? If you liked it, like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to hear more stories like this.